So recently I found buy.com. I'm sure many of you already knew about it, but I got there through Greenback Street and it's been great. Good deals on electronics, some of the best you can find on the web. I happen to get a GPS unit, universal remote, and the great thing is I got some cash back for doing it. You can head there yourself and you always end up with a great deal on so many different products. They have stuff for your kitchen, stuff for outdoors, furniture, the home, just about anything you want, I think they have over at buy.com. One of the wonderful things is I ended up getting great shipping. You can get shipped for free. It's supposed to be 7 to 9 days, but I ended up getting it in 3 days. So that's not a guarantee, but with great shipping coming that fast and free, you can't beat it. If you want to head there yourself, head to www.greenbackstreet.com/Explorer Store. And if asked, enter promo code 79878.
Exploring functional technique is revealed in classical martial arts of all styles. This is Martial Arts Explorer. I'm Scott Combs. We debut a new segment today. It's called Police Blotter. I spent some 20 years in broadcasting and had to regularly scan the Police Blotter reports. Many of the stories are pedestrian and mundane, but every now and again you see something you really didn't expect. Sometimes it was the story itself. Sometimes it was the writing. After all, police persons are not trained writers. In any case, the police blotters were a never-ending source of silliness for me and my colleagues, and hopefully now for you. Police Blotter on Martial Arts Explorer is intended strictly for educational and entertainment purposes, and we hope you agree. Also coming up this episode, we continue with Chris Thomas's lesson on Taekwondo back stance. Watch carefully, you may recognize his training dummy. But before we get to all of that, let's see what Michael has in the Explorer segment.
Thanks, Scott. Let's take a look at a move from our forms, Nahanchi Nidan, which is the second of the Nahanchi forms for us. And what happens is your arms pop up this way, elbows out, and then we simply move out into a blocking striking motion. So for anybody else in any of your other forms, even a forearm strike or a high wing block is sort of the same position as these elbows, especially how we're going to use it in this situation, and then adding on to the end of it. Tom's going to jump in. Now for us, this form moves across here and then steps out. We're going to work an overhand wrist grab coming in this way, all right? Now a lot of times they're seen done straight out and across your body here. This time we're going to assume maybe my hands are already up. I'm doing, tell him I don't want to fight, or I'm getting ready to fight, and he reaches out and he snags one of my hands up top. Now all I'm going to do is sort of step off to the back because when I'm getting all the way of his back hand, and as I move across, I'm just going to bring my forearm, my elbow, over the top of his wrist here. All right, it's an instant quick release, and now the next move comes right in across the body, and it looks here. One more time, it's an overhand grab. Now as I come over, one nasty thing I can do is I can grab on, I can trap these fingers, and I can come in, and right now I have a wrist lock also. All right, so I have this quick wrist lock, and I'm not gonna bother to hold it because I really want the strike. So as I move in, I pop this down, that makes him dip his head and move. Reach right out, there's the ear, depending on the position of the face, I might have the nose, chin, anything I want coming across that way. Now it's also interesting to note, this is a common way for women to grab, but it's more of a come along position where they grab you here and you might start to pull, all right? And this happens for kids too, as you start to work this way. Now if this happens, what I wanna do is I wanna catch up. So as he starts to pull and move, I take one big step and then I'm gonna roll back over the top. So, it might be more of a surprise. He might come from the side, he might start here, and he might just take off and start moving. So as he starts to walk away, I grab, I roll over, and I bounce right into him. And here, I'm in a nice setup, and I still have just a strike here. I can turn back in, I can keep striking the legs and drop him and leave. So this works in different positions. Guys are more likely to end up in this position and get grabbed. Women will see this variant once in a while coming from underneath, but still the same grab. All right, thank you. Get the class, let everybody give it a try. All right guys, we're taking a look at Nahanchi Nidan, the second of the Nahanchi forms, and it's an overhand grab and it comes out, we're gonna work on this move, bringing the elbows up and then popping out in a hammer fist position. Remember, for anybody else, all you're looking at any position where the elbow's high, and then you get to extend out afterwards, or just add the extension. George is going to jump in with me real quick. Now remember, he's grabbing over the top. It's not the typical straight out grab here, but it is the same side grab for this move. I'm going to use my elbow forearm, and I come over his pinky side, and I press down here. Eventually, my leverage works out, and I pop loose this direction. Now, I like to add in the other hand, so as I start to move across, this hand comes up and traps and grabs here. Now I can help peel off real quick, and then all I do is reach out, and there's the hammer fist. Now if he sits very straight onto me this way, I'm going to take him right in the front, right across the chin. Or I might take him down and stretch out and hit the top of the nose and pop it in. If they turn away from me, so if I do this and I get this type of motion here as I pop across, I'm probably going to come in more to the ear. All right, that type of position there. Thanks, George. All right, everybody, give it a try. All right, guys, good. This one's great. It actually works pretty easy, and everybody seemed like they had a good time. Even if you were just learning, it seemed to work pretty well. So this is a nice move to start with. One interesting thing, now working with George, when I do this, he doesn't really let go. In order to pop out, I actually literally have to pop my fingers loose. If you ever have that situation where you go to do this and it just stays attached, I have this great lock, and I just put the lock on. If you get to here, don't worry about trying to pop free to hit somebody in the head. If you get into this position here, just kick him, all right? He's right here, he's kneeling down for you. Just kick him in the thigh, kick him in the groin, knee him. So if that is ever the case where someone's hands happen to work in such a manner that they just maintain the grip, all I do is lock this on and he maintains the grip, boom, just bring it in and don't worry about getting loose. Most people, once they get twisted over far enough, I get to about here and they start coming loose and that they're barely holding on. I'm more holding them onto me than they are grabbing. All right, so once they get to here, I usually just take my hand out and just hit them. So if you ever end up in that situation, just keep the lock applied and just go ahead and take the legs, take a knee strike or a kick. All right, thanks for joining us. We're heading back to Scott.
Police Blotter. Stories taken directly from actual police reports around the world. Because truth is goofier than fiction. Annapolis, Maryland, USA. A man who pulled into the Annapolis Police Department lot and parked there without coming inside was arrested and his vehicle towed. Officers inside the station on Taylor Avenue became suspicious when a green car parked there just before 4 a.m. A quick check of the license plate yielded the following. Benjamin Arthur Holmes Jr.'s license was suspended for failure to pay child support. Holmes said he was waiting for a friend. Lakeville, Minnesota, USA. Between June 19th and the 27th, Lakeville police responded to the following events. 16 traffic crashes, 38 alarms, 37 animal complaints, 18 medical emergencies, some 251 traffic stops, and 27 thefts. One theft in particular had questionable motives. An officer responded to a construction site regarding a missing portable outhouse. Ellensburg, Washington, USA. A person reported receiving harassing phone calls on Glen Drive. Police suggested the person move to another street. Okay, I made the last part up.
So what we're going to do now is I'm actually going to have you do, not fast, but we're going to do the movement. And as we do the movement, I want you to try to feel the body. You're not going to have a body. Use your visualize, okay? So it's going to be simple. I'm just going to go 1, and you're going to go, and then back 2, and I want you to picture yourself. Picture the grab, picture coming over, picture controlling this arm, stepping in there. Just picture it all, but also see if you can feel it. In acting, it's called sense memory. See if you can have the sense of it that you just had with the body. And then at the very end, I'll try to give you just a second. So you go here. And then look down and feel your stance and see, does this feel like a structure that would, where I could effectively do that? And if not, adjust it. But try to use your imagination now. So let's try that. Please stand up.
Yes, sir.
So first it will be on the right side. So you're going to step forward with your right leg real slow. Ready? 1. Then just feel your stance for a second. Then come back. 2. Oh, I've been grabbed. Oh, I got your arm. Okay, and then again. Right side. Oh, 2. Fall down for me. There you go. And again. 3. Whoa, trap control. Okay, now just kind of check your stances, see where you are. Are you too narrow? Do you have a little more width? Do you feel like you're stable into the ground? Do you feel like you're strong? Do you feel like your back leg and your front leg can do the work they need to do? Okay, good. Now sit down.
Yes, sir.
So I had always heard, and I'd always been told, that when you do kata, you're supposed to visualize your attacker. But when I practiced, when I was taught, and I was practicing my knife hand, my attacker was doing this, and I was going, whoa, step back, right? Right at the beginning, many years ago, I did a style that had back stance, so we were going like this. So, but when I did my form, in my form, I never stepped back. I stepped forward, right? So I couldn't visualize my attacker because my attacker is stepping at me and I'm stepping away. But when I'm doing the form, I'm stepping forward. So I couldn't visualize it. But you just stepped forward doing a thing that you just practiced with somebody. Were you able to visualize it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That means now when you do your form, whenever you come to the double knife hand, you can visualize your attacker. You can do what they said. So I want you to. Whenever you're doing a form and you come to that move, I want you to visualize. Now, it doesn't have to be this thing that we did today. You may go, I don't know, I kind of, and you might come up with your own. That would be good. That's actually better if you come up with your own. Not that your own will be better than mine, but rather that your own will be yours. It will be better for you because you will have thought it up yourself, thought it through yourself. So 80% of the applications that I do, somebody taught me. 20% I figured out on my own. And then I showed it to somebody and they said, yeah, that's right. And then they showed me that they'd been doing that for years. They just hadn't taught that to me yet. It's a very common thing. And that happens. So my sensei's name is George Dillman. I would show him stuff. He would go, you know, like I'm like, look at this sensei. He'd be like, and then oftentimes he'd go, and it could also be this, then he could, and then my students come to me and go, look at what I came up with. And I go, because, I don't know if any of you read the Bible, you'll notice that there's a book of the Bible called Koheleth or Ecclesiastes. And what it says is, there is nothing new under the sun. So it's not that you're going to think of something that no one's ever thought of before. But if you think of it, you own it. It's yours. It's your application. So the 80% of stuff that I was shown, at some point I went, I get this now. And they became mine. My application. Even though my teacher showed them to me and his teacher showed them to him, they're mine. Because for me, they're inside my body. When I do my form, I picture the attacker and I picture what I'm doing. I can see the attacker, I can see it. Now, doing forms is a different experience. I have learned from watching people that if they I can see people, sometimes they do form, they're just starting to learn an application. They may know a whole form, they know the application to one move, and you can tell when they get to that one move because it's completely different than all the others. It's alive. It looks like they're fighting. The rest of the time it looks like they're dancing. But they hit that move that they know, suddenly they're in a fight. And then they dance the rest of the form off. So what's going to happen to you is that's where you are right now. You're going to be doing your whatever, kick, punch, and all of a sudden you're going to hit the knife hand and you're going to go, I know what this is, and your body's going to be, boom, and you're going to feel the fight in you, and you're going to picture it in you. Okay, that's a good thing.
Yes, sir.
Just out of curiosity, would you like to look at something else? Do you want to just tell me what you want? Yes, ma'am.
The step where you do a back stance and you go out and you do a box squat.
Like this? Okay, can you stand up and show me? It's actually really dangerous. What you're talking about is great technique. Go ahead. Excellent. All right, now, do me a favor. Do the back stance that I just showed you. Right? It's a little wider, the feet are angled a little differently. Okay, yes, good. Good. Now see how your body turns it in a different way? Notice how this changed this angle right here? All right, now what I want you to do is press on my hand. Feel that's very strong, isn't it? Yes, good. Now go back to the other back stance, the sort of familiar one to you. Put your hands up. Okay, push on my hand. See how weak that is? Okay, so we're going to do this position. But first I need for you to understand something. Whenever your arm is up, your shoulder must be down. What happens is we learn up movements like this or like this, and we raise our shoulders. And it's incredibly weak. You can't do anything with this. This is a weak position anyway, but you can do this right where you're sitting. You don't have to get up or anything. But what I want you to do is I want you to raise your hand about level with your own face. Then I just want you to raise up your elbow so it's just barely above the height of your shoulder. And then, now right from here, do this. Raise your shoulder, pull your shoulder down. Raise your shoulder, pull your shoulder down. Got your shoulder pulled down? Good. Now keep your shoulder pulled down and just bring your arm up a little higher. Then bend your arm. Okay, now just squeeze this way. Okay, as long as you keep the shoulder down. Okay, now I want you to be able to see what I'm doing. So move however you need to move to be able to see what I'm doing. Okay, are you able to see this? See this? Okay, I need a target, like a hand pad or something. Somebody have a target mitt?
I thought you just wanted my head.
That's fine, whatever. I'm actually going to put it on your head and then...
However, sir.
Thank you so much. Okay, do me a favor. Don't just hold it to your chest. No, I mean, get your arm out of there. But put it up right about here.
You got it.
Okay.
Don't miss.
Now, you wouldn't have expected that, right? Because that does not look like it should be strong. It's not if I do this. Nothing happens. But I just lock my arm in this position and just turn my hip. And it's very strong. You don't expect that. Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. Sorry. But that's why that move is in the form, because no one expects it. This is not the move you expect. Now I do have to point something out, that there's a tiny difference between the version where you do it here in a horse and the version that I do, which is in a cat. So I'm just going to do the cat stance version. And then the horse stance version is the same thing, it's just a different angle. It's just the attacker's in a slightly different location. And I'll try to show you what that is so you can do it with your stance. But this is actually a move I do all the time in my form, because I have that move in my form too. I have two main applications I use, and I'm going to show you one of them, and it's just really effective. It goes like this. Guy grabs him. Let me use. Poor Scott has been.
Oh, please. Thank you, sir. Poor Scott?
Poor Scott has been.
Why don't you just say poor dumb Scott?
Poor dumb Scott has. And do me a favor, stand right over here, because here's what I want you to see. When this guy grabs onto me, he's going to punch me, right? So he does this grab thing, and he's going to punch me in the head. You want to do this, right? Don't you want to stick your arm up and not get hit? Okay, that's what the other arm is doing. That's the other arm going, I don't want to get hit. What I need to do is I need from my body, the power is coming from over here. In the Okinawan version, which is the version I do. my body moves this way. Do you see how I'm actually moving a little bit to the side as I shift into a cat stance? Whoa. So when that punch comes in, I kind of move out of the way just a little bit. Now, not enough to avoid getting hit, but enough that when I add this motion, I'm in pretty good shape. In the version you do, we're actually standing like this. That's why I sink down, because now if I try doing what I would do in the cat stance, I'm still in the line of power, so I have to do something that's a little more aggressive. I actually have to step out and push it. I have to hit into it, so I need a bigger posture. So the difference between the Okinawan version is he's right in front of me, whoa! And the Korean version, he's actually on a 45 this way, and I need a little more, I need a stronger structure to obstruct this power. This hand, here's the Okinawan version, does that, and all I do is twist my hips. That's all I do.
The next move, sir.
I don't know, what is the next move?
Kissing, I hope.
Yes, ma'am? Mm-hmm. Right.
Okay.
After you do this, and then this, okay? Nice and slowly. The Okinawan version of that looks like this. The Korean version of that, because now the angle is...
Hold up a sec. Let's see that again. And again. One more time. I just love that. I guess now we know why Scott's not on camera very often, huh? It makes me laugh.
The Korean version of that, because now the angle is different, is... But it's the same basic principle. Watch what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop my elbow for a second hit. And then... Okay? But the key is... You can't see this coming because physically it sneaks up over the arm that's grabbing. It comes out of nowhere. You can't predict that this is going to happen. This is based on the idea that I'm tuned in and aware. Because he grabs it, he throws that punch, boom! Sorry, I'm angled for the Okinawan version. I'm trying to do the Taekwondo version. I need to change my... He grabs me and there's that hit. And I drop my elbow. See the strike to the face? This hand comes across because I want to keep him on me. Now I see, that's what I want, that neck. I have to stand up to get it. Notice it, pull. And then whatever comes next. Kick maybe? Here's my side kick. I'll do a side kick. Side kick, is there a side kick in your version? Or do you kick with this leg?
That's it.
Then it's done, new guy? Okay. All right, so we'll just stop there. But you can totally see this now, right? Guy grabs me, he's right in front of me. I go, oh, boom, bang, bang, Okinawan version. Now the guy's over here. I go, whoop, gotta stop that punch. And as I stop, watch this body. You can see. Do you want to get hit by that? Anyone want to feel that? But I don't count on that. I go, and then, and the secret is pull as you strike. You can try that, right?
Yes, sir.
But slowly, right?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Thanks. Thanks for watching. We love getting your email. Send it to explorer@martialartsexplorer.tv. Don't forget about buy.com for great deals on all sorts of stuff you want and or need. If you'd like to get cash back when you shop, go to www.greenbackstreet.com/explorerstore. Or if asked, use promo code 79878. For Martial Arts Explorer and Michael Kleinepeer, I'm Scott Combs.